The United States currently has the highest prison population rate in the entire world. It even has more prisoners than China, a country that has 4 times our population.
Number one, baby.
Number one, over 500,000 more prisoners. They have 4 times the population. And if that seems to you as if something needs to change, if that's a problem, well, then Republican Senator Tom Cotton wants to change your mind. He says, take a look at the facts. First, the claim that too many criminals are being jailed, that there is over-incarceration, ignores an unfortunate fact. For the vast majority of crimes, a perpetrator is never identified or arrested, let alone prosecuted, convicted, and jailed. Law enforcement is able to arrest or identify a likely perpetrator for only 19% of property crimes and 47% of violent crimes. If anything, we have an under-incarceration problem.
Okay. So a couple of things here. Now, first on the substance of these statements. Yeah, but Tom, what crime are we talking about? So if you're talking about murder and you say, hey, somebody was murdered in Arkansas and, you know, obviously devastated the family, et cetera, we didn't catch the guy. So in that particular case, we have under-incarceration. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. We all agree to that, right? And by the way, you can't, like, I hope we get to a point where we can solve all the crimes in the world, because I don't want anybody getting killed, assaulted, raped, robbed, et cetera, and somebody gets away with it. You know what we hate on this show? Injustice. And that's an injustice, yes. Okay? So, but that has existed, unfortunately, for time immemorial. Nobody has 100% arrest record, 100% conviction. No country's been able to do that. If you want to go in that direction, great. But that's not what we're talking about, Tom. We're talking about arresting people for things like smoking pot, which we've filled our jails with millions of people for doing that. That's like saying during Prohibition, yes, we've arrested all these people for the high crime of having a beer, but we have an under-incarceration problem because we didn't catch the people doing the murders. By the way, a lot of the people doing the murders were doing because you created a prohibition, which leads to gangs. And here we are again. We have a prohibition, which leads to gangs. In this case, drug gangs, which leads to more crime, which then you ironically turn around and say under-incarceration.
Yeah. Well, I can just imagine, you know, like the detective comes back. There weren't enough clues. He can't catch the murderer. So I guess we'll round up 4 pot smokers to even things out. But nobody actually thinks that. But Tom Cotton is, look, we've covered him many times. He's one of the biggest liars in the Senate, potentially. He's a hawk. He's a terrible person. And he is perfectly fine with arresting and detaining for years and years, ruining the lives of millions of Americans.
So
he doesn't give a damn if their families are
He's literally saying the opposite of what everyone else is saying. Like in black is white and up is down with this guy, right? And gullible isn't in the dictionary, right? That's what's happening with Tom Cotton, right? Yeah. This is unbelievable. So what he doesn't, he wants us to incarcerate more people and prosecute more crime, but just some crimes. He doesn't want us to investigate all crimes. I'm sure he's not upset that the people on Wall Street aren't in jail. He's not upset about that. He's not upset that the people ordered and carried out torture aren't in jail. He's not upset about that. He doesn't want to put those people in jail. Who does he want to put in jail? He wants to put in poor people. He wants to put poor people in jail who don't have good legal representation. That's what he wants to put in jail.
Yeah. Okay, hey, Tom, is there an under-incarceration problem on Wall Street? Okay, and tax fraud. All the guys who are... Look, some legally move their money to the Cayman Islands. That shouldn't be legal. That's a loophole. You should get busy fixing that so they actually pay their taxes as patriotic Americans, right, which you're never going to do because you actually work for them. But then some actually commit tax fraud. Oh, but you cut the budget for the IRS so they couldn't investigate that tax fraud, didn't you, Tom Cotton? So it turns out you like under-incarceration when it comes to the rich that are committing white-collar crimes and hiding their money and cheating on their taxes and doing all those things. You love that part of it. You just don't like it if the poor or the middle class is getting away with it. We should incarcerate them more. So who is Tom Cotton? And you will hear me now, quote me later. Tom Cotton will be the darling of the Republican establishment. That's what he's trying to do, and it will work. Tom Cotton is the guy who raised his hand in Republican caucus saying, donors, what do you need from me? I'll do it. You want me to work with the mullahs and the ayatollahs in Iran, the right-wing radicals in Iran, to kill the peace deal that our moderates and their moderates are working on? I'm your guy. Defense contractors, you need that killed? I'm your guy, right? Hey, Wall Street, you want me to protect you? The rich that are evading your taxes, you want me to protect you? I'm your guy. I'm Tom Cotton, right? And you want me to crush the poor so the prison industrial complex will make more money and all the other things that are, related to that. You all want to make more money. I'm your guy. I'm your guy. So it's not that Tom Cotton is particularly bright. It's not that he accomplished more than other people. We have a country of 300 million people, and the donors are looking for the guy with no shame, who will do everything that they are told to do. So that is what makes them stars. You know who the last star was? Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
And the donors had selected him because, hey, look at that. He looks pleasant, and he's from an important state like Florida, and he's Latino. Perfect. And he's the guy in class who was sitting in the front of the class with the Republican donors. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, what do you need? I'll do it. I'll do it.
He was thirsty for it.
He was definitely thirsty for it, right? So now that Rubio's gone, the new Rubio is Tom Cotton. Now, you probably haven't heard a lot about Tom Cotton yet. You will. And soon you'll start to see press like Rubio got. In Time magazine, they said the Republican savior, right? Because the corporate media just coincidentally happens to agree with all the Republican donors, right? It'll just magically happen that way. As always, I'm telling you ahead of time, okay? You will start to see great press for Tom Cotton because he has been chosen, because he raised his hand and said, I have no shame. I'll do anything you want me to do. Keep you out of jail even though you're stealing billions of dollars? No problem. Put more poor people in jail so you can make a couple of extra dollars? No problem. I'm Tom Cotton, and I'm here to serve you. That's what this guy is saying.